listening to Zap Night, a video game review podcast. Join your hosts Danny, Kaylee, Seth, and Evan as we review video games from all systems and all genres.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Zap Night Gaming. Today we're talking about Halo 2, but before we get into that, we want to shout out a couple other channels who Zap Night has been associating with for a little bit now. We have Precisely Podcast,
Rated G for Gamers,
Shart Select,
Pixie Podcast,
GOGP, otherwise known as Ghost of Gamer Past,
Region Free Gamers,
Lit Gaming Arena,
In Your Element Podcast,
The Critical Mass Podcast,
New Dad Gaming,
Pixel Paradise Podcast.
And that's all a part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance with us.
Including us, Zap Night Gaming.
Zap Night Gaming.
Can't forget about that.
All 13.
Yeah. So definitely go check everyone out. But beyond that, we're going to go ahead and get into our game for this month. Now we're...
Talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. Why?
Oh, I was going to bring that up. So, we were supposed to do Kingdom Hearts 3.
We originally announced it.
Yeah, we that's what we talked about last time, was that we were going to do Kingdom Hearts 3. We were so excited for that. And lo and behold, we could not have beaten it within this month. We were getting towards our date, and we're like, okay, we're not going to beat it.
Not only did we decide to do it in the shortest month of the year, pick the longest game I've ever played.
Right, yeah, I mean, I'm like 15 hours in or something like that. And I was talking to my cousin Trey, who's beating it, and yeah, he's like, yeah, it's going to be a while.
Should have had Trey do the podcast.
Should we have Trey? Maybe. One day. But so we decided to bring back a new, do a new game, and Halo 2. It's our first sequel game that we've done. We obviously did Halo as our first one some months ago.
I think it was November.
Yeah, I believe so. So we're finally doing the sequel, Halo 2, my personal favorite game in the entire series. So I'm actually really excited about doing this one. It was actually really fun to replay this because I haven't played it through in a while. I've played like multiplayer on the Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One, but actually going back to the original Xbox to play it was actually really refreshing. It was really nostalgic too, because I used to I would come home from school, as a wee little lad, and then I'll just come home and play it on my dad's original Xbox, and then obviously I held on to it, and I've been playing it still.
Yeah, I have some history with this game as well, coming up on almost 10 years of playing Halo.
Was this, now you said, no, this wasn't your first Halo, right?
No, Combat Evolved Anniversary was. But this was my second game.
Right.
So I did go kind of in order.
You did. You got it. You still did get it. So, a little bit about Halo 2. It was developed by Bungie. It was released originally only on the original Xbox. Of course, remasters come out later. And it came out in 2004, mid 2004, right before 2005. And Seth, tell us something about the story, my dude.
The story is a lot more complex than the first game, because you got more than one point of view this time.
Indeed.
You're either playing as, Master Chief, Savior of Humanity, or the Arbiter, an alien for the Covenant, right?
Just like Chocobro.
Chocobro is part of the Covenant?
Yeah, dude. He's holding the energy sword.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's not good. He's mad. We're not holding him this time.
So, when we left off in Halo 1, right? We just blew up the Halo. We're flying around in space. Well, Chief goes back to Earth, right? But he doesn't go, right to Earth. He stops at, this space station. It's called Cairo Station.
Right.
Him, Sergeant Johnson, and Cortana are the only 3 people that survived the Halo event. And they're all getting rewards, right? But that's when the Covenant decide to show up at Earth and attack humanity at the source. And, Chief, being the good boy that he is, decides to take matters into mostly his own hands.
Basically, yeah,
pretty much fights all these wars.
Right, I mean, he is the UNSC. Let's think about that for a minute. I mean, he is the UNSC.
Yeah. But this Legion of Covenant that's attacking Earth is led by the Prophet of Regret. And the Prophets are just these weird old man-looking aliens that lead the Covenant. They kind of look like the Pope, honestly.
They're disgusting.
They have the floating chairs like the Pope, too,
Right, man. But Bungie was trying to draw some connections.
Yeah.
And they were in Africa, man.
Oh no, we can't sing that.
That's copyright.
Yeah. Well, the Prophet of Regret, started regretting his decision to come to Earth when Chief started fighting back. Pretty much panicked and entered slip space, which is... It's kind of like warp drive in Star Wars, but a lot more destructive.
Imagine Kirby's Warp Star, only it pretty much decimate that word that I'm trying to say. It does that to a city, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and Prophet of Regret, flies this ship right in the city, which destroys most of the city, which is where ODST takes place, but we're not talking about that. But Chief follows, right, in his ship, and they end up on the other side of the universe at another Halo.
Oh boy. It's Delta Halo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just called it Installation 5.
It's the 5th installation. Was the Halo from the first game, was that 4?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I thought so.
Meanwhile, the interior of the Covenant is like moving around, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other two prophets, Truth and Mercy, are kind of putting this one elite guy on trial. I think his name's like Valvadam or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what his name
It's
is.
alien. I can't speak alien.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
Is that a stone?
They're oh my God. They're blaming him, right, for the destruction of Halo. And instead of killing him, they decide to give him the rank of Arbiter and send him on suicide missions against other aliens who have defected from the Covenant, opposing their religion.
Heretics.
Yeah. Which, good old Arbiter ends up being one.
Right,
But
according to, what was his name? The big brute?
Tartarus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with Chief pursuing the Prophet of Regret on the Halo, right? He eventually gets to him and beats him right off his chair.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. But with one of the prophets down, the other two, make a power move, and they're like, oh, this is all the Elite's fault, and they start kicking the Elites out of the Covenant, and having the Brutes take their place. And the Brutes are like these ape-like creatures that previously were unheard of until Halo 2, and that's what Tartarus is.
Yeah, he's a brute.
So the Arbiter and the Elites, they ally with the humans and try to stop the Covenant as well. But, as with most Bungie Halo games, the Flood shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chief and the Arbiter end up in this catacomb with this thing called the Gravemind. It's like this giant... It looks like a piranha plant, honestly.
It kind of, yeah. It's... What is it? It's like a...
It's... See, the Flood feed on sentient life.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that can think.
Right.
But in doing so, they accumulate more knowledge themselves. So the Gravemind basically harbors all the knowledge that they've stolen.
Right. Like, yeah. What is he like as a creature? He's like a weird, like, tentacle monster thing.
Yeah, it's a bad Friday night.
Yeah, it's no.
But
I'll ruin your day.
He basically wants Arbiter and Chief to do his bidding because he obviously does not want to be starved, which is what the Halo does. It wipes out all intelligent life, which is what the Flood feeds on.
Mm-hmm.
And, Tartarus, seeing that the Flood was outbreaking, decides to take matters into his own hands and gets the Index to activate the Halo. So Arbiter goes to stop him, while Chief goes to stop the other two prophets in High Charity. High Charity is like this planet-sized Covenant city that was orbiting the Halo. He goes to stop him there, finds that the Prophet of Mercy has been taken by the Flood, and Truth is like getting preparations ready to go to Earth and finish what he started.
Indeed.
And, Chief gets on that ship. But not without leaving Cortana behind.
Well, she asked to stay behind, so that way she can, or did he just, like...
I think she did ask to stay
behind.
Because she had to keep the bridge open for him to get on the ship.
And then Gravemind found her.
Yeah, and that was... That may have caused some events in later Halos, but... But yeah, meanwhile, Arbiter's trying to stop Tartarus, and that's the last mission of the game. It was actually a boss fight, which I don't think they've done very many other boss fights in the Halo series. I mean, there's kind of the Oracle in Halo 3.
Yeah, if you count the monitor, then he's not really hard.
Warden in Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
But he used multiple times, though.
The Didact in Halo 4, that wasn't really like a battle.
That was kind of a cutscene.
It was just kind of a quick time event.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. He had a gravity hammer that shot bullets for some reason.
Yeah. And that later gave us the gravity hammer that we could use in later games.
Yeah.
Actually, how many? It was in 3. It wasn't in any much others, wasn't it?
It was in ODST, Reach, 4, and 5.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay. All right.
Even though there were no brutes in 4 or 5. The gravity hammer being a very brute weapon.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Pretty much the only melee weapon that can counter an energy sword.
Yeah. So.
But with, Tartarus actually got the Halo to activate.
Mm-hmm.
They just managed to stop it in time.
Right.
And then the Oracle comes in teasing Halo 3. He's like, oh yeah, well the Arc can fire them all at once, so that's where they're going right now.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh. And it was left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Which disappointed a lot of people. There was a lot of people who didn't like the fact that it left on a cliffhanger. Which I wouldn't have been mad because that just means another Halo.
It's all a part of the storytelling,
right.
Yeah, show them something.
You gotta appreciate the evolution of things. And so I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to be happy with a new game. It's like, I don't want to spend our $60. It's Halo, Halo 3.
Yeah.
So the story I actually did like. At first when I first started playing this game, I wasn't too fond of the Arbiter missions. Not really so much story wise, just difficulty wise. When I was younger, I found them to be much harder.
Really?
I found them to be much harder than the Master Chief sections. As I got older, they were both kind of just like easy because I kept playing.
You had
the
some
game.
Covenant on your side with the Arbiter missions. I thought it was easier.
I thought I was younger, and when I first played this game, I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I didn't really stop playing Halo 2 until ODST had come out.
Mm.
So then I kind of made the switch over to the Halo 3 side of things. But yeah, and just when I was younger, I just felt that it was harder. Also, I didn't really care for the alien weapons back then. Unless it was online.
But who can deny the energy sword?
Well, if you have that thing, if you have in the story mode, I love it because it does run out, but I mean you
can swing forever. It's amazing.
Yeah. In the multiplayer though, if you are using it, people in your lobby may have a few choice words for you. If you're just because it has such a great distance on the lunge.
So to.
So you just sit in the corner waiting for people to come by and and then you just hear on the mic. That was my favorite part, to get a rise of someone. But I actually like this story.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I also gave it an 8 out of 10
because it was very much more story driven than Combat Evolved.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell they put a lot more. I think there's like 5 more missions in Halo 1.
Yeah. 3 or 4. Yeah.
But yeah, it took you on a journey.
The great journey.
And it really got you hyped for Halo 3.
Indeed.
To finish it up.
Which didn't come out for like another 3 years, but it did come out, so.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they should have... Now, I mean, personally, after playing ODST, where it puts you back in New Mombasa, where, which is the city that you're in when the Covenant first attack Earth. You're back there, and you get to see more of what happens after the Covenant ship flees and the Master Chief goes with them. I kind of wish in Halo 2 they would have expanded a little bit more on the Mombasa sections, the Earth sections.
When they're hyping up the game, I noticed they're like, "Oh, the Covenant are Earth, go kill them," and it's like you're only there for like what, 3 missions?
Yeah, that was the entire. So okay, so when they announced Halo 2, they announced this website. You had to look for it at the bottom of your television. It would say Xbox.com or something like that, but then it would flash I Love Bees, and then flash back to Xbox. And what I Love Bees was a alternate reality game for Halo 2, and it consisted of like this AI from the Covenant ship took over this website and was kind of trying to rebuild itself. And so the person who was the players, they would have to do stuff to unlock more secrets, and the website would update with new stuff, whether it was audio clips, stuff like that. The AI, what's going on with the AI. You'd have to go to like pay phones and like dial a certain number, and you would get like a piece of information. It was like, it's considered one of the best alternate reality games. And then it ended with the Covenant coming to Earth. Like I think the final one was like these two people were talking over a phone, like it was an audio clip, and then you'd hear a loud noise, which was like them coming into like the atmosphere, and then just and then alien noises, and that was the Covenant taking over. That was invading Earth. So they really were like, oh, they're coming to Earth, fight for Earth, and then you're there for like one or 2 missions. I think it's 2 or 3 missions.
I think you were on Earth more in Halo 3.
Yeah, you were, because you were in the first. Yeah, no, in the first mission you were on Earth already.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were on Earth for like probably the half of the game, maybe, or like quite a bit of the game, and then you.
We'll save it for the Halo 3 podcast.
Yeah, we'll save that later. But yeah, they really have. I was really confused by that. It was like, oh, Halo 2, fight on your own backyard, and then you're there, and then you're gone. You're gone just as quick as you were there. Those missions are really short too.
Yeah.
So,
I believe I saw a trailer for Halo 2 as well, where there were brutes on Earth, which that didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen either. Except for, obviously in ODST, which takes place at the same time as Halo 2 does, and the only aliens on Earth still are the brutes.
Yeah.
No elites anywhere. You can find elite bodies though.
There's like lore behind that. They're like, oh yeah, the brutes killed them because of the shift in the Covenant.
All right. What is it? Execute Order 66 or something like that? Yeah. So, story-wise, very good. Graphics. This was a really big improvement from...
Yeah, Halo 1 basically had N64 graphics, and Halo 2 had borderline early Xbox 360 graphics.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. And what's nice about that was, it was towards the end of the original Xbox's, life.
Yeah.
The 360 was coming out the next year. So Bungie would have been really would have known the type of software they were working with, the hardware they were working with.
I think it was only a 3-year gap, too, and that's pretty impressive.
Right, yeah. And so, it was a really big jump. Now, when I was younger, I didn't really pay attention to it. It was just like, oh, Halo 1, Halo 2. But then when you actually look at it, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is, it's disgustingly good, as much as...
And you can tell that, lots of people love this game when the remaster for the game is still the best looking Halo to this day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about Infinite because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But
that might take the crown when that
Maybe.
one comes out. But, even with Halo 5, Halo 5 still didn't look anything close to like the remaster did for Halo 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, before an Xbox game, this is probably one of the best looking Xbox games. There was, some people argue like San Andreas was like,
no way.
There are some people who were like, oh, it was the best at the time. Like it was the best.
San Andreas is still like blocky though.
Oh yeah, exactly. But
this is like solid and rounded.
Yeah.
Compared to
blocky,
Just
blocky. Rockstar need to fix themselves, and they did. But I don't know why people make that. They're like, oh, San Andreas was. It was the
San Andreas.
It was the best looking game of the 6th generation. It's like no, no. There was a lot of good looking games.
You haven't seen Super Mario Sunshine.
That game looks crazy.
It still holds up to today's graphics.
Still does, yeah, exactly. It's just like Halo 2. When we play this, obviously we play it on original system on an older TV, and it's still it's still looks, good.
Yeah.
If it got pushed back one year and had to go to the 360, obviously they would have to. It'd be in probably higher definition, but it still would have looked, pretty good for 2005. So, yeah, obviously Halo 3 when that came out, that took it up a notch, and it did look, nicer. The faces, they finally made the faces look like faces.
Yeah.
As opposed to 1, I don't know what happened in 1 with the faces. Halo 2, they made Sergeant Johnson look sick. They made it look like he was just like sick. And then 3, they actually made Sergeant Johnson look like Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah, that's the Sergeant Johnson.
The Sergeant Johnson. And then they kill him.
Spoilers.
Oh, the game is 12 years old.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I gave the graphics 9 out of 10.
I as well gave it a 9 out of 10. I believe, did we score Halo 1 higher on graphics?
No,
No,
absolutely not.
Okay.
I think we gave it like a 6.
Okay. Yeah, no, that one I remember. That one I do remember. Gameplay, standard first-person shooter. They didn't really add too much more.
Yeah, they got rid of the assault rifle, which is a pretty iconic Halo weapon.
Right.
But they added so many more, too.
They get rid of the assault rifle, which, to be honest, is probably like one of the weakest weapons in the Halo universe, as of 1 to probably 3. I never really liked the assault rifle. It's too weak. I was always more of a battle rifle. So I do like the switch from the assault rifle to the battle rifle. The Magnum stayed, the shotgun stayed, the sniper stayed. They brought the SMG. This is the first. It's this gun they were touting during the trailers. You could dual wield. You could finally dual wield now.
Yeah.
And not just the SMGs. It could be an SMG and a pistol, or a pistol and a plasma gun. Needlers. Which, oh man, dual wielding.
People
needlers.
have been asking for dual wielding energy swords forever, and they tease it all the time.
That would be horrible. That would break multiplayer so bad. Because then you have you have 10 swipes. When you kill someone, it's like 10%.
Yeah.
So then you have 20%. That's like 20 kills right there. If no one kills you before, you use it all up.
But people get mad because they tease it. Like Halo Wars, the Arbiter had 2 energy swords. I think he did in Halo 5 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I remember seeing that too. They added. Did they didn't really add? They added the carbine rifle,
The Brute Shot. They added a lot of Covenant weapons because you got to play as a Covenant.
Right, so you had to have,
the fuel rod gun.
the fuel rod.
You could finally pick it up. Because the energy sword and fuel rod gun were in Halo 1.
Right.
You just couldn't pick them up.
Right, well, especially the energy sword in Halo 1, if you killed an elite with energy sword, the energy sword would just kind of...
Yeah.
It would just kind of deactivate.
I don't know how to use that.
I don't know how to use that. I don't want to touch that. It's weird. Give me that assault rifle, you know what I mean? The 60 round, assault rifle that they then cut in half.
Yeah.
The battle rifle, though, stayed consistent. And the battle rifle is really nice. It's very powerful. Especially when headshots, it gives you a scope. The first, besides sniper rifle, obviously, but the first, main rifle that actually give you some sort of, magnification. So it was actually really nice, and I'm really happy that they obviously kept that. With Halo 3, they brought back every gun, but battle rifle was always it was my gun.
Oh yeah, they added a Forerunner weapon too. The Sentinel beam.
Oh, the Sentinel beam. The Spartan laser wasn't in 2, right?
No, I think that was in 3.
No, they did add some new drivable stuff, I believe.
Yeah, they only added one human one, which was the Warthog Gauss.
The Gauss cannon.
But they added a lot of Covenant. They already had the Ghost and Banshee from Halo 1, right?
You can
the race were in Halo 1,
but you couldn't drive them.
But you can in Halo 2. They added the Spectre, which was like this little pink vehicle. It was basically the Covenant Warthog.
Yeah. You use that in like a later Covenant mission, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they also had like Heretic Banshees, which were golden. That was pretty cool.
That one was pretty cool. As much as like the Heretics of Halo 2, like those aliens, like as bad as they were, their armor looked cooler.
Yeah,
their Banshees looked cooler. So I mean, it's like
Pimp My Banshee.
Pimp My Banshee, Season 2. So yeah, gameplay, I'm gonna say, but they didn't really change how the game works. It's still your standard shooter. they did give you a lot more to utilize when you're fighting.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I
mean, it seems a little low for one of the most iconic multiplayer games of the generation.
I would have scored it higher. I also gave it an 8. I would have scored it higher if some of the actual, the shooter elements, or if they would have added, something new. It's still just a turn, shoot, aim. It's still all the same stuff from Halo, just there's more stuff you can use.
Yeah.
But the way you do it is the exact same. So I would have probably scored it higher if that had changed.
Oh, one thing they got rid of that I was glad. Fall damage.
Fall damage is completely gone. They did change the health system. In Halo 1, you had bars of health that would drop, and then you had your shield. In this one, it's all just one shield. Just one shield bar, and it regenerates much faster. So I do like that. I do prefer that to the, trying to find health kits
Yeah, that
to
was
get
kind
full
of annoying.
health. So you could be on 1 bar of health, but still have full shield, but you're still going to be 1 hit away. So if they just smack you, you're dead.
Yeah.
But Halo 2 gives you. It was they needed the change, and the change was good. I did appreciate the change.
Halo 1, you're going up against these big old aliens, right?
Mhm.
In Halo 2, Chief gets new armor. You feel a little more secure in what you're doing.
Right.
You get to play as one of the aliens, right?
Yeah.
So you aren't as afraid of them anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, these guys are nothing, so that's when I started meleeing.
Yeah, just me.
Just beating up aliens.
Something I noticed with the elites in Halo 1 and Halo 2, they look kind of scrawny. But then in both the remastered versions of 1 and 2, they made them like much bigger.
Buffer.
Yeah. And it wasn't a bad thing. It just caught me off guard. Like the first time I played Halo 2 Remastered, and I clicked the button to switch from Classic to Anniversary, and I was just like, oh.
When did they add buff elites? Was it? I think it might have been Halo 4.
Yeah, that was the first one where it was, it was just them. But it was the Halo 1 Remastered that had the remastered graphics they were buff. Same thing with the Halo 2 Remastered. And then 4, they just kept it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, no, gameplay, so, overall.
Hijacking vehicles.
Hijacking vehicles,
That
oh
was
my
amazing. God. That's how you get to kill the Prophet. You'd hop on the side of his chair and just punch him.
Start punching him, just...
So when you hijack vehicles, you can either take control of it, kicking the driver out,
or just
you can
destroy
beat it up with your fist, or you can plant a grenade.
Right.
I really like the grenade stuff because
I
you
do
hop
like that.
off.
Especially when you hop on a Wraith, you have to like punch the Wraith kind of open, and then you just throw whatever grenade you have. You throw it in there, you hop off, there you go.
Have you ever done it where you just punch the Wraith and it kills the driver, so you hop off and take the Wraith?
I have done that.
Yeah.
I do like taking the Ghost. I always try and like trick shot with the Ghost. So like, I'll get onto like a bridge and then I'll jump off as a Ghost is gonna come underneath me, and then just start mashing X as much as I can to latch on it, kick the driver off, and then turn around and then just speed into him.
Yeah.
Master Chief style.
Yeah. Savior of humanity.
Savior of humanity.
The hero we needed,
but didn't get, because this is a video game. Maybe one day we can get Power Ranger armor and fight some aliens.
Maybe.
Not likely.
Well, I will say we talked about Master Chief's armor in the first one being kind of crappy looking.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. It looks
And this one, this is, when you think Master Chief, you probably think of this armor.
Right.
Because it looks so good. Even though it does look like if Buzz Lightyear and Darth Vader had a baby. It's iconic, and it just works.
Yeah,
I'm
stuck.
quoting Todd Howard. It just works.
It just works. Great man, right? Love Todd Howard?
I do love Todd Howard. Not as much as Masahiro Sakurai, but that's not the point.
That's not the point. So, yeah, no, I do appreciate the armor change. And they kept that in 3. In 4, it was still the same armor, but it looked different.
And at first I didn't like the Halo 4 armor, but over time I've come to like it because it kind of shows like Master Chief's power.
Mm-hmm.
He's like big and buff,
In Halo 5, was it still the same?
It was.
Why did they make him look like so much bigger? Like look like they just made him look too heavy at that point. Like he was just really heavy. Halo 2, this like that's great. Like that's perfect.
That's probably why they're going back to it for Infinite. Maybe.
Is it Halo 2 or is it Halo 1 style armor?
It looked like Halo 2.
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
2, 3.
I mean, especially the helmet. The helmet. I've gone paintballing, and the helmets that they give you are styled after Master Chief, helmets.
Yeah.
Even the visors, like, they're not gold, but they had the same like markings.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can see how iconic that thing is.
That good old Mjolnir armor.
Yeah, Mjolnir. Yeah, how do you pronounce that? It's weirdly spelled. It's like MJ.
Yeah.
Nor.
Mjolnir.
I just call it Mark 6 or Mark 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
4. So, music.
Oh man.
I have good things to say about this, and I have bad things to say about this.
Really?
I do. Good things is they brought on a lot of good artists. Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, you're talking about the soundtrack.
Yeah, the music.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Breaking Benjamin, Hoobastank, and Incubus. Breaking Benjamin, obviously they have the most well-known song of Halo 2, Blow Me Away.
Blow me away.
Yeah. Hoobastank, their song wasn't actually in the game, but it is on the soundtrack, and it's called Connected. I really enjoy it. It's a good song. And those are the things I really do enjoy about the actual soundtrack. Probably my least favorite part about the soundtrack is Incubus's contribution. And I'm a big fan of Incubus. But they have like 5 songs on there. It's like first move of the Odyssey, second move of the Odyssey, third move, fourth, fifth. They're all the same song. Like, they don't really change. And they wrote that. Each band, they wrote their own piece for the soundtrack. So the fact that they just came up with 5 of the exact same song, and they got in, and they took over a majority of the first volume of the soundtrack. They're just like, I don't want to like listen to, good song, and then it's the same thing, and then nice song, and then it's just the exact same thing. It's just, knowing them, it was a really poor contribution to what was a really good soundtrack, which had a lot of big names, but their name, I can't do them. 5 of the same song in one CD.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But the actual music that plays, just the sounds of the music that just plays while the game goes on, I really like those tunes.
Yeah, a lot of those classic Halo songs came from this game too.
Right. When you're fighting, you have an upbeat kind of, war kind of song that kind of
those ambient noises.
Yeah, you get the ambient noises when you're by yourself and you're kind of, just walking to your next battle. So it really puts you into the mood. For
Not
what
to
you're
mention the redone Halo theme with the guitar.
Oh my god!
Or the one with...
That's the one everyone knows. I mean, everyone knows the...
They added the female part to the theme song too.
All right, everyone knows the classic, the vocal, the one that 80 people do in a bathroom.
Yeah.
The reverb. But this one with the guitar, it was a change that was, that made Halo 2 be, what was the main.
Told you exactly what kind of game this was going to be.
Yeah, like you knew what you were getting into was worth the $60 that your dad paid on Christmas for you to get this game. Like, you knew. It's like, Dad, you did good. Or if you're older and you bought it now, and you went to your local retro store to find this game sitting on a shelf, that's a good purchase right there.
Yeah.
There was, but so besides just some of the music that came from the big names, it was really great soundtrack. All the music, it really fits. I love it.
What'd you give it?
I did give it a 10, even with the Incubus, even with the Incubus. But their songs, I mean, when you actually hear them in the game, you only hear them like once or twice.
Yeah.
And it's during cutscenes when you're talking to like the prophets.
Yeah, they actually put songs from the soundtrack into the game. I don't know if they've done that in any other Halo.
Nah, I don't know. To be honest, obviously the best case is Breaking Benjamin's "Blow Me Away." That plays during a section.
It was so iconic in that level that they brought it back for the remaster.
But they took it out of the act. So it's kind of weird how that works.
Because they didn't have the rights for it for Anniversary anymore.
Right.
But if you switch it back to the old graphics, it'll still play.
Yeah, so if you're playing on the new graphics, it's just going to play... It might not even play music. Or if it does, it just kind of
Yeah, they got like some new ambient thing.
yeah, you have to fight. But if you switch back, it goes to Breaking Benjamin's part. But so that was kind of disappointing. But if you're just playing Halo 2 and you get to that section, it's such an amazing moment because you have to fight like 2 hunters, a bunch of
Yeah, it was basically an arena.
Right, and that's actually
and the song fit perfectly with that.
And that section actually takes a while. So the whole time you're fighting, you're listening to
fighting
probably
the Flood, Covenant, whatever else wants to come at you.
Yeah,
aboard the Covenant's holy city.
I really wish Hoobastank's song was somewhere in the game. I really do like their song. It's called Connected.
Yeah,
you can find it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, the Halo 2 soundtrack. It's there. It's really good. But they didn't incorporate it into anywhere in the game, and that was disappointing. But obviously Breaking Benjamin, they made it through. And Incubus, they don't know.
Yeah,
whatever they were doing.
Well, I gave it a 10 as well because not only did I like the regular songs, the orchestrated, mysterious alien noises that they put in the game. That's so iconic now.
Right.
But also the songs that the bands played were really good too. And I don't really know much about Incubus, honestly, but
yeah. Well, they all kind of. What's fun about all three of those bands, they all came from like that alternative metal, like new metal scene, which is blowing up at the time that Halo 2 was made, and so and they had incorporated the metal riffs, but especially Incubus, they were doing like an orchestral thing in their music. Breaking Benjamin, obviously they did some stuff too. I don't know about Hoobastank, so it kind of just made sense for if they were going to have musicians come on and bands come on and do tracks, let's get who's popular. Obviously Breaking Benjamin, Hoobastank, they had blown up. Incubus had been around for a while, so it just kind of made sense to get what was popular. And for the most part, they made really good songs.
Yeah. For the anniversary, it would have been really cool if they like redid the song and put it in.
I know. I don't know.
Like even just the Valora one,
right?
The one that they like, it would have fit Halo 2 as well because they added the female part into the theme song.
Right.
I don't know.
I do like that version of the Valora. I think I like the original version.
I do like the original one better, but it does sound pretty cool.
It does, yeah. It sounds very nice. It is a very nice sounding song. Overall, this is an amazing game. I can honestly say, with all the Halo games that have come out since 2001 to now, this is my all-time favorite Halo game. I've played the campaign over and over. There's been many nights where I've stayed up and I've just played this game back when the original Xbox had Xbox Live, and then even when it, when it got canceled and the Master Chief Collection came out, and they brought back Halo 2 Classic mode. You can play the original graphics. I played that more than any other game mode they had on the Master Chief Collection. So, this game will always be right here.
Back when the Reds and Blues left Blood Gulch.
Yeah, they left Blood Gulch. They did actually. Red vs. Blue actually did come back to do, continue their show when Halo 2 came out. And something cool that Bungie actually did for Rooster Teeth at the time, the Red vs. Blue team. If you guys have ever seen Red vs. Blue, they always have their guns down. And in Halo 1, the way you have to do that is you have to look all the way down. So it makes your character's head at the very last second look up. So it looks like, they're looking straight and their gun is down. But they're looking down, so recording that was harder because now you can't look where you're going and you kind of have to guess. So what they did for them in this game was if you press down on your D-pad at any moment, campaign or multiplayer, it to everyone around you, it makes it look like your gun is like
lowered.
On your screen, your gun's still raised, and if you shoot,
it pulls it back.
It'll pull it back up, and the bullet will still go straight. But especially because machinimas, and just stuff like that were blowing up around that time, especially Red vs. Blue. They decided to incorporate that to make it easier, so they, so it could be made quicker. Because, if you can't see where you're going, that's going to take much longer time. I actually read that what they had to do was they had to have a guy, the camera guy whose screen actually was recorded to get the shot. He would have to direct them to tell them which way to go. Like, turn around, go this way. Which, if you're the person playing it, you don't know which way is behind you, so it's just kind of, it's a mess. But with Halo 2, with the actual feature they added where you just lower your weapon, it would definitely make it much easier to record. And they did something like that for Halo 3 as well, where you can lower your weapon.
I think Reach you had to like put in a button combo.
Yeah, they made it. They gave it a button combo as opposed to down, to D-pad down.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think by the time they got to Reach, they started using the D-pad more for stuff.
Yeah, because they had the Forge mode, and
so you couldn't have that. But it was really cool that they actually Bungie went out of their way to help. This at the time they were way smaller than they are now.
Yeah, the Halo franchise has always been really supportive of fan stuff, like Red vs. Blue, and
obviously machinima.com.
Yeah, every corner of the internet in 2004 was probably Halo related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the YouTubers I watch, and it's not everyone, but the ones I watch, they all came from this machinima section where all their videos were like Halo 2 or like Halo 3 machinimas. And if it wasn't for Bungie, oh yeah, go for it, and then nothing, it would have been nothing. Machinima would have been nothing without Halo.
And not only did Bungie really contribute, 343 even put them in their game.
Yeah, exactly.
The Halo 4 Easter eggs with the Red vs. Blue guys, and at the end of the newer Red vs. Blue episodes, they got the Microsoft logo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means they're supported, because I know they didn't buy Rooster Teeth.
Right. Yeah. We didn't even talk about Griffball. They actually implemented a Red vs. Blue game mode.
Yeah.
Because of the show.
Bungie
that is
actually
amazing.
likes fan stuff so much that they started incorporating iconic game modes today. Like they're iconic today, but back then they were just stuff fans did.
Right.
Creating their own custom games. Like Infection. I believe that started in Halo 2.
Yeah.
And so did Griffball.
Mm-hmm. Griffball. That is... Even if you don't know what Red vs. Blue is, Griffball is just a really fun game to play.
I didn't know what Griffball was before I knew what Red vs. Blue was.
Yeah. With Griffball... So there's a character named Griff, and they're shooting at him, and one of the characters is like, "This is more fun than Griffball," And what Griffball is when you pick up this is it's like an oddball variant.
It's a bomb.
Yeah, when you pick up a bomb, you turn orange, which is the armor color of Griff from the show, and you have to kill him, which is a big running joke within Red vs. Blue. You want to kill Griff.
He's basically Kenny,
right? And every single
from
character,
South Park.
Every single character is given an energy sword and a gravity hammer. Obviously not in Halo 2. In Halo 2, it was just the energy sword.
Yeah.
And you have to try, and there's 2 teams. You have to try and kill the person who has the bomb, and the teammates have to kind of lead the bomb carrier to the other side to get into a little ring that will detonate the bomb.
And that's how you get a point.
And that's how you get a point. And they've carried that from 2, it was in 3.
I remember the day they added it in Halo 5, everyone went nuts.
Yeah.
Because there was so much more you could do with it in 5. Because of all the stuff they added.
They had it. Griffball had its own playlist on Master Chief Collection for a while. I think it's still there at post Insider Update. I believe they brought it back. So if you want to play just Griffball, you don't have to hope you get it when you're playing Team Action Stack, which was originally how you had to play it. You had to just hope that the game just gave you that. But now it has its own dedicated playlist.
Yeah, Griffball is one of my favorite modes, but Infection's that is top for me.
I didn't even know.
I've spent so many hours in that in Halo Reach.
I didn't know Infection even started in Halo. I first played Infection on Call of Duty. It was a Call of Duty mod for COD 4, and then they actually made it a thing in Modern Warfare 3. And then it was on Halo, and I was like, oh, this is cool. They have Infection. And people are like, oh, this... And Infection started on Halo. I was like, really? So yeah, a lot of great game modes have come out of that. Shoddy Snipers. That was always a fun one to play as a kid. That was what was cool. It was like the Halo 2 and Halo 3. Just the Halo. Especially Halo 2. People could make your own game modes, and then they would have a playlist where it just...
And that's something they greatly expanded on the upcoming games. Cause...
Right. And, some of them are kind of weird. Especially like Shoddy. It's like Shoddy, the Sniper Shoddies or something like that. And you're in a really small map, or you're in a really big map, and you have snipers and shotguns. That's all you get.
Oh, wait, we almost didn't even mention the Scarab gun.
Oh. Can you wield that, or is that just as the Scarab?
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, in Halo 2, there's this big vehicle called the Scarab. and it fires this really powerful laser. I think it's like the most powerful in actual gameplay.
Yeah, if it shoots you, you're dead. You can't avoid that. Even if it shoots near you, it has splash damage and you will die.
However, Bungie wanted you to wield that power, so they put a little Easter egg in. Forgot what mission it was, but if you fly Banshee into the right place, you'll find a plasma rifle, right? But when you fire it, it shoots the Scarab laser.
Are you serious?
That's
I
in
didn't
the
even
actual
know that.
game, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think we need to find that.
Yeah.
We'll need to find that when we go back. That sounds amazing.
They put little
But you know how easy it
secrets
probably is to
everywhere.
you know how easy it is to probably kill yourself with that thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you fire it, it's bad.
So overall, really great game. Obviously, it has this game influenced a lot of what was going to come afterwards.
Pretty sure most shooters would not be around today
Without
if
Halo.
this was not a success.
Right.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 overall.
As did I, which ends up we gave this game a 88 out of 100.
44 each.
Right, which I will say this game did score a tad bit lower than Halo 1.
Even though, for both of us, I believe, we do like Halo 2 more than Halo 1.
Yeah. But that's just the way it is, and we can't change it.
Yeah, I can't explain it.
Yeah, I don't want to explain it. I can't even think my thought process behind this. So that's really about it. Coming up next, got Cuphead.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be fun. I'm sure it was fun for Danny and his bud playing it. And after that, we'll
finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
We swear.
Yeah, we promise. You know, we'll get everything.
I'll
set
put
up.
it on easy mode.
There is no easy mode. Literally, I'm pretty sure it's just standard and then like hard.
How do you think I caught up to you so fast?
Caught up to me.
Yeah,
You're on the Pirates World?
almost.
I mean, what? There's no.
oh, whoops.
You'll find out next month.
I need a weapon.
I need a weapon. Oh man. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Definitely go check out the other podcast we talked
The Gaming Podcast Alliance.
about. Gaming Podcast Alliance. Definitely go check them out. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and actually check out our Instagram as well if you haven't already.
That's doing really well.
Doing really well, actually. Thank you guys so much. And that's really all we got. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next one.